leans to the left. I could get that fixed for a very menial amount of money, but I wear it as a badge of pride. I don't believe that cosmetic surgery for men is the way to go.
I agree.
I have all sorts of damage to my hands. The knuckles all damaged, the scars. My hands open very slowly and close very slowly. But it's a very important part of my life, and knowing how to fight, just like with in the United States, being trained with weapons and knowing how to shoot very well, it's a skill that you carry around with you everywhere you go, and you never know when you're going to need it. You know, when someone sits on your car. You never know when you're going to need to know how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
And the injuries are absolutely well worth it because every single sport, you know, Jay Waller talks about this with American football. There's an element of toil that breaks your body down. And as you get older, you have these injuries. But there's also, you know, the cardiovascular fitness benefits of it. So it's a mixed bag. You don't want to go too far in one direction and damage yourself too much. But it's healthy. But at the same time, it's damaging. But, you know, you can't escape aging and you can't escape, you know, breaking down eventually anyway. So you may as well do it in style with a few title belts and a few cool stories.
Speaking of hands and cars, what happened with that story with the Bugatti?
Well, pretty much. Those guys were in the wrong place at the wrong time because I was pissed. I was pissed all day. I had parked my Bugatti outside a hotel in Cluj-Napoca, which is a Romanian city. I didn't have my security guards with me. I didn't have my security team. And all sorts of people were gathering all day long to take pictures of the car. I was watching from the balcony. It was pretty cool. And then this little fat kid tags himself in a picture leaning on my car. So I sent him a message. Say, what the fuck are you leaning on my car for? Delete that picture. It's disrespectful. He's like, oh, I'm just giving your car a free polish because it's the internet. So obviously, this being Romania, I post the photo and I say, 200 euros for this kid's name and address. So he immediately apologizes and backs off. And I'm thinking, you know what? If only I'd caught him doing it. There's a line from Pulp Fiction where, is it Vince Vega? Where he says about someone scratching his car. Yeah. And he says it would have been worth them doing it if I could have just caught him doing it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I was thinking about that quote all day. And this fat kid and how brave he was after the fact that I caught him and after he got home and he thought he was safe because it was the internet. So I go to the club that night, you know, I'm with a few women, I'm having fun. I'm driving home in the taxi with Andrew, and as I pull up, lo and behold, there's two people sitting on the car. I thought I was like jackpot. Yep. But there was two dudes sitting on the car, another 6 with them. It was a team of 8 people. And I didn't see people who saw the video and said, oh, you know, the guy you actually knocked out was shorter than you. The guy who I punched second was about 6'1", 6'2". But I didn't know their size. I didn't know who they were from across the street. But I looked at Andrew, no words spoken. We got out and instantly engaged. So I don't have that content anywhere because that gets you in trouble. But if you Google Bugatti owners punched, Bugatti street fight, Bugatti punch tape, if you put the right words together in Google, someone will have it up there. But don't sit on another man's car. I think the arrogance and the attitude that makes people think that they're entitled to do that is the fact that they think rich people are just somehow blessed. They don't realize I worked for 34 years of my life to be in a position where I can find, for all the shit I was just telling you about that I went through, to be in the position where I can buy a $5 million car and be proud of it and be happy with it and you drive it around. And you don't have a right to sit on that. I don't have a right to sit on a man's BMW. I don't have a right to sit on a man's Toyota. That's his car. He worked for that. That's his money. So, yeah, they deserved exactly what they got, and I would do it again. So don't sit on my car.
Don't sit on his car, guys.
Bugatti, bro. Don't do it, bro.
So, Tristan, real quick, and then I'll read the chats after. Yep. Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys came from that poverty, like step by step? Like, so you're fighting, and you have a championship belt yourself.
2 European championships.
2 European championships. Obviously, a lot of pain and toil to get there. How did you guys go from being in Luton, poor, scavenging for chicken, broken hands, injuries, etc.? How'd you get to building an empire up and becoming your first millionaire?
Well, the long form story of this has been told many times, but essentially, me and my brother discovered a life hack. We discovered something that we were very good at. And all of our lives, even through our kickboxing careers, being completely flat broke, we always had beautiful girlfriends. We always had 1 or 2 or 3 beautiful women around us. And we essentially discovered that girls could stream on the internet and make money because simps would give them money. And that as soon as that clicked in our heads, I remember I was working a sales job at the time, and I was making maybe $1,000 a week on a very, very good week. So I come home from my sales job. Andrew's done his first day with this girl doing some streaming, and he says, Tristan, something amazing has happened. And I was like, something amazing has happened. He goes, how much money did you make today? I said, I sold this and this. I was selling home improvements. I mean, like 300 pounds, and I've made more than you. I said, fuck off, you haven't made more than me. What, at home? What, sitting here? And this is, remember now, 11 years ago. This is a long time back, before internet money was such a real concept. I don't think YouTube had built-in monetization and super chats like it does today. Twitch hadn't taken off in a massive way yet. And that day, although he'd already beaten me by the time I got home, he'd made a total of like 550 pounds in a day from home with just his girlfriend and a camera. I was like, the fuck is this? So literally, with our mindset and our hunger and our attitude, within no time, within a year, we had a big 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom penthouse with women streaming from every corner of the room. You know, in each corner. We couldn't even manage all of our women until we were making, at our very peak, we had about 75 models working for us live, and we were making $3-4 million a year in profit. And that was my first step onto certainly how I made my first million. It was my first taste of real money.
Can I mention that if Tristan and Andrew were smoking weed, doing dumb stuff at home, not being focused, they would not be able to see the opportunity. And they saw it because they were hungry and they were looking for it. So that's very important, man.
And also what I'd say is, you know, in that industry back when it existed, because OnlyFans and stuff has killed that stuff a little bit, you also can't be too thirsty for the lifestyle. You're surrounded by beautiful women. You can't just be having sex all day, drinking with the girls all day, taking them out all the time. It was very, very professional. Spreadsheets, regimented. Are you on time? You get ready. We slept in shifts at points, and we were sleeping 3-4 hours a night each, 24 hours a day, around the clock, 365 days a year we were running. And it made us a lot of money. It was a lot of hard work. And to anyone who says anything about, you know, it was wrong to do that or you were exploiting your employees, etc., let me just give you a very quick example now, because people don't understand the nature of a webcam studio or webcam management business. The only thought experiment I would tell you, you two, I could ask you, I'd say, how many OnlyFans girls do you know? Hundreds. It's in the hundreds, yes? Yeah. Ask them all honestly, if they run their own accounts or if a management company takes care of their accounts. Because they're not on their accounts typing to these simps all day. You're talking, bro, if you're on OnlyFans talking to girls, you're talking to dudes. You're talking to dudes in the Philippines who are running these messages and getting the money out of you. You are not talking to that girl almost in 90% of cases. So if you were to ask these girls who works for a management company, they'd be like, me. No one points at them and says, oh, your management company's exploiting you and you're being pimped and you're kind of. So I was just doing it way before OnlyFans existed. Right. But I'm out of that industry now. It's I don't shit talk it because it did make me a lot of money, but it's been about 3.5 years since I've had anything to do with that. But that is how I made my first money, and I am not ashamed of myself. I'm very proud of myself. And no one who's ever worked for me and Andrew, even in the hurricane caused by our recent blow up, has ever come forward and said that working with me or for me was in any way a negative experience.
And I must say, we've been in Romania for like, 3-4 days now. Yeah. And every time I see Tristan with women, they're always pleasant, always happy to be there. So that's a very good, true thing, man. They're happy to be around you.
Yeah, I think that an accusation that you know, left wingers and dudes who can't get laid will point at even people like you. Yeah. People like myself will be like, oh, you sleep with all these women. You are sleeping with these women. You are, using these women somehow. What they don't understand is that women are the sexual gatekeepers. Women decide who they have sex with. So if the left are correct, and I agree with them, that women are completely free to go around the world and jump into bed with whoever they like, and they choose to jump into bed with me, you're not judging me on my lifestyle. You're judging all those women. You're telling them, no, you can't decide who you have sex with. No, you have to have sex with someone like me, not someone like Fresh, not someone like Fit, not someone like Tristan. So they're actually being misogynistic and hating on women by saying that I shouldn't sleep with so many women. Yeah. Because they sleep with me. I mean, you've met plenty of girls I know. I mean, I'm not forcing them to be around me.
They want to be there, trust me.
Exactly.
You can't be strong and independent and be able to make your own decisions and be a boss while simultaneously saying, oh, no, I didn't. When you're the one picking the people that you had sex with, you can't sit there and take the victim mindset as well.
Exactly, yeah. And it's not something that men do to women. It's something that women choose to let men do to them. So that's what I would say.
So you guys have the webcam business. You got your empire. 75 girls working for you. What was that like? Because you were living with these women, working with these women. You were in London first. What was that like?
I didn't go on vacation for 2.5 years. It was a straight money mission. And the thing is with money is once you realize you can generate these insane amounts, the hunger becomes real, and we got addicted to the money. It wasn't about the lifestyle. It wasn't about the sex. No one on the internet knew who I was at this point. My Instagram had about 1,000 followers. I didn't have a photographer. I wasn't trying to flex. I wasn't producing YouTube content. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just sitting there with Andrew every single day, looking at our spreadsheets. Okay, how much have we made today? X thousand. Okay, that's good. Tomorrow we need to put this girl here. We need to change her set a little bit here. I don't know. Put this one in a little cute anime costume. And we just worked and toiled away at this until eventually we started, because it sometimes takes money to make money. And with the millions of dollars that we had, we made some very smart investments and we started running other businesses. Most people who know me know the kind of things that I'm into. I'm not going to talk too much about my current business portfolio. But when that happened, I realized I'm making so much money doing other things where 100% of my effort, my passion, my time is being sucked into this studio and this webcam project, which is now only making me 25% of my income. So let me take my foot off the gas there and concentrate on other things. And that was the start of our I guess, second meteoric rise from Lamborghini money to Bugatti money.
Yeah, that's a good point. They had money before they came onto YouTube. Legendary.
Yeah, way before.
There's a photo. In fact, I'll unarchive it from Instagram. I think it's in 2017 of me standing next to a Lamborghini Huracan when they just come out, and an Aston Martin Vanquish, an older model, not the one I currently have, and it got 112 likes at the time. So I already had $500,000 worth of cars when I was the kind of guy who got 100 likes on a photo. So no, we are not created by the internet. We are not guys who, made a bunch of money because we blew up on the internet. We've had money for quite a while. I made my first million at 28, and I'm 34 now. So,
wow,
millionaire for 6 years.
So, Fresh, can you read some of these chats real fast?
Yes.
There you go. I'll pass you.
Yes, I'm here.
Just flick the pictures.
So this one came in earlier. Girls Vision $50 says, when Rod Eric said the other day, "Yo, Tristan named that flick My Partner's Country, but me I'm rock and roll," sounded familiar from the Glimmer Man movie. Tristan, didn't you say you'd give away $1,000 if someone did the challenge?
Yeah, I did. I did, actually. You know what? And I forget I say these things. So because you pulled me up on it, I'm going to give you $1,000 because you obviously did it. You obviously watched The Glimmer Man by Steven Seagal. So this guy right here, you've just won $1,000.
I know him personally.
Yeah, you know him personally?
And it's funny because...
But I got to pay you in crypto. So it's Bitcoin or Ethereum. He knows you personally. You're going to get the $1,000 for reminding me that I said that because I'm a man of my word. And I say things on podcasts. I'll give $1,000 if someone watches The Glimmer Man. Good. All right, you win.
And I must say, he's a proud member of the CEO gang. So shout out to you, bro.
Good. You just won yourself $1,000, my friend. Well done.
We have here Marley Dawn says, Fresh, how much for a feature for the Mandem, bro? Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Shout out to the Mandem. We have here Zudar Saint, $200, Don DeMarco. He says, all of you guys have been giving me gems in life for over a year now. I appreciate that. 14K last year, 6 figures this year. As a 20-year-old, wish you guys the best. Tristan, I'll be joining the war room soon. Remember my name, Yoga Fire.
Yoga
Shout
Fire.
out to you, Zodar.
My friend.
Yep. And we have here as well, Mine Grown, $50 says, Myron, great job working with a new setup. Fresh, nice sweatshirt. Top G. Tristan, always so hot.
Yeah.
Are you a guy, bro? That's kind of weird if you're a guy. Okay.
Yeah.
We have here Luke Solis, $100 says, 23 years old, fresh out of college in San Diego. Live with my parents, started my own business, making $35K a month. When do I know to keep building, investing compared to when I should reward myself with an exotic car and or nice sky-rise apartment? So he wants to know when to start spoiling himself, making his money.
It depends. It really depends. What I would say is my financial advice that I give to everybody, including how I live today, is I did $10,000 in the club the other day. I spend half of my money like I'm going to live 50 more years and half of my money like I'm going to live 50 more days. Because you know what? I might only live 50 more days. You don't fucking know. No one knows. And life is very, very short. So I think if you put all your money in the bank, saving for a rainy day, you might just die with millions of dollars in the bank. Never ever having been that guy who, had a Ferrari or had a Lamborghini, even though you've had the money. And then no one's ever going to, then you didn't squeeze all the juice out of the lemon of life.
You made a good point at lunch today. You said, for example, if you're making money, why not have both? You can invest your money and still have fun at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's a matrix control mechanism, this stupid shit. Like, oh, you don't need nice clothes and nice watches and, a nice belt and a nice car. You should get a rental property. But no, work your ass off and, make your investments and be smart and get your rental properties, but dress well while you do it. Buy the chain, buy the watch, buy whatever you like. And also, make smart investments with your money. But again, that's the spend half your money like you're going to live 50 more years and half like you're going to live 50 more days mindset. I've got a super chat for you. Are you boozing with me? That's a super chat for Tristan today.
You know what? I've been a bad influence on Tristan today here at McDonald's. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drink today because, hey, you know what? I influenced him. He influenced me. And I'm not going to lie, man. I'm in Romania once a year, maybe. Never first time.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not drinking, guys, because
he lost his voice.
I'm the producer.
He lost his
I'm the
voice.
Mr. Producer, and I lost my voice.
What is this? This is brandy, my friend.
Brandy, I'm about to die, bro. Can I get some Coke with this or some
Coke?
soda?
Coke! What the? Coke! My disdain for Americans and their culture is going to go this. I'm going to start cussing Americans in a second. This is Cardinal Mendoza Grand Reserve Brandy. And you want to mix it with Coke. This isn't Heli, my friend. This isn't a $12 bottle. You want to mix it with Coca-Cola? But you know what? Yeah. I knew you were that type of guy, so I got you something. I knew you were that kind of guy, Fresh.
Let's
so
go.
You know what? Good.
go.
You're the first man. You know, there are brandy connoisseurs worldwide where if they saw this, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to mix mine with Coke. I'm going to go full American.
By the way, it's my first time drinking on stream. So shout out to y'all, man, and demand it.
So guys, we got 11,000 y'all in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill all the other streams except for YouTube. So come on over to YouTube right now, guys. And then also, Tristan, can you tell them real quick, because you was talking about investing money and everything else like that. And I tell you guys all the time, you got to go ahead and take your earned income, invest into assets. The assets pay you back some dividend money. Then you can go buy all the other stuff that you guys want to buy, etc. But there's ways to make money on the internet nowadays. Can you tell them about that real quick?
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about Hustlers University, Hustlers University is absolutely wonderful. As I said, when I was young, there was no way I could ever contact a millionaire or have them coach me or have my advice, or have myself advised by them. For the 18 modern days of ways of wealth creation, vary from stock trading and other to crypto to affiliate marketing, and every single person in the Hustlers University is actually a member of the War Room, who I verified to be a millionaire in their own field, and I verified to have made $1 million in that field before I gave them the job as professor. I think the great thing about Hustlers University is it couldn't have been built by anyone but myself and my brother, because without the network that is the War Room, so the professors obviously get paid. They were, when Hustlers University was a very tiny business, making like, a couple $100 a day. These were millionaires giving hours of their time every single day, working essentially for free for amounts of money that did not matter to them. But they believed in myself and my brother. They believed I could grow the business and make it worth their time. So it's worth their time and it's worth everyone else's money, because, how else are you going to upgrade your phone from having 0 millionaires in it willing to talk to you to having 18? So there's a Hustlers University link on the description of this page. Make sure you go through that link and sign up, and I'll see you inside. It's an absolutely amazing program.
And guys, everything you want in life is behind being successful. You want girls, you want a good lifestyle, you want to live the life that you want. It's behind money. And sorry to say, bro, you need money in this lifestyle, so that's what it is.
All right, cool. So Tristan, you guys go ahead and you start the webcam business. You get the height, you get all these girls working for you, etc. How were you able to keep the girls loyal to you guys while simultaneously making money?
To say group sex would be a short way of doing it. But no. I had some girls work for me who had boyfriends, who had husbands, who would literally come to my studio, work their shift and leave. I had a lot of professional girls who were, like married. I had a virgin work for me at one point for a very long time and made a lot of money. So don't necessarily judge girls who do webcam work or OnlyFans, because there are some really great girls who do it. And it's a wonderful hustle. It's a wonderful hustle. I mean, if you were to tell me back in my KFC chicken scavenging days, I could just take pictures of my dick and make 5 figures, I'd probably do it my damn self. So, I would say, a lot of the girls worked for me because they love me. I mean, me and my brother preach about the healthy, how healthy it is to have a good male-female dynamic in your life. That's one of the most important things in life. And a lot of the women who worked for me, even to this day, some of those women love me and respect me and care about me. And they wanted to be successful themselves, but they really wanted to, they really enjoyed the fact that they got to live in this big mansion. They enjoyed that they got to be taken around in the Lamborghini. So me making money by coaching and helping these girls stream was also beneficial to their lifestyle. It was upgrading their lifestyle as well as their bank balance, because they got to be with me. So that was one of the best, I guess, methods I could say for keeping them happy, keeping them loyal, keeping them working. I go to the club with them all. I'd spend $10,000 a day. So it wasn't just me making money and saying girls get online and them living boring lives stuck in a bedroom. No.
And I think you leading by example. You being the type of guy that actually cares about them genuinely. Yeah. So I can see even right now, bro. Even being here in Romania, Myron, you just watching Tristan, he actually cares about people around him, and that love and affection that people don't really show. He shows it, and that's good, man. Because you're not just a playboy. You're more like a person that cares about.
I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
I really am, and me and Jay Waller did that stream, Gentleman Game, that got over 500,000 views. That's the best way I can describe it. There's no way to live a life to have an abundance of females if you really truly are disrespectful and you truly don't care about the women.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can do it, and some rappers, etc., talk about hit it and quit it, but they will never get the true enjoyment of male female relationships. They'll never get it because they'll never have women who actually fall in love with them. If you want to go around treating people like shit, you're never gonna have any friends. You're not gonna have any girlfriends. Everyone's going to be out to use you, and what goes around comes around. So, be nice. I say it all the time.
And the foundation of being a playboy is you got to get girls to respect you and that's where the loyalty comes from. Can you describe that a little bit as far as building that trust and attachment?
Yeah, and it's what Fresh said earlier about, the money to live this lifestyle is very, very important. I went through a phase when I was completely flat broke, but I was a kickboxer. I was working hard. I was staying focused in a very bad town where a lot of people were very bad people. And that was a different era. That era is over. That era is completely over. What's happened is where 14 years ago, it was possible to meet a girlfriend, date a girl who was pretty, and she didn't have access to all the millionaires in the world. If there was a pretty girl from Luton Town,
Instagram,
exactly. Whereas nowadays, if you're a young man, you're 17, 18, 19, you got to get your money game right, and you have to have a lifestyle that is at least interesting to women. Because the same woman that you would have taken out 20 years ago that you would have had access to, maybe you go to university with her, maybe you just finished high school with her, she's now being hit up by people like me, and who she's going to choose. So yeah, making the money and getting your finances right is super, super important to living a life.
And you know what's funny? People say all the time, we're safe because we're in a small town. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's safe. It's Instagram.
Yeah.
The access is out there. So you think you're safe? No, you're not, bro. Because if Tristan hits her up or me, she's coming, brother.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's what it is. So that's funny. All right, guys. So I guess, Tristan, I want to ask you this question. So
give that to Myron.
Here we go, Myron.
Yeah, go and ask.
So, in my opinion, I think you're a great guy, but at the same time, it's like people paint you in a bad light. If you could summarize yourself in 3 words, what would that be?
3 words. That is a very good question. Efficient.
Why do you say efficient?
That's the joke. Efficient. 3 words. I just wanted that. You didn't get it. That one went over your head. That went over
Fresh.
your head. Myron got it. I saw him smiling.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I'm drinking right now.
Yeah. Well, you've had 1 sip, bro. Come on, you got to learn to booze better if you're with me.
It's pretty good, bro.
3 words. Literally, I'd say loyal, honorable, and respectful. I treat everybody from the waiter to my housekeepers, to my security with the absolute utmost respect. I'm loyal to the point where I will never, ever stab a friend in the back. Talk shit. I mean, I only met you guys a few times when someone on a podcast tried to ask me questions about you, calling you guys all sorts of names. I was like, no. That has not been my experience with those 2 men. Right. I will never, for clout or for money or for pussy, ever snake a man. So yeah, I'm very loyal and honorable. That's just general the way I live my life. I take very good care of my mother. I take very good care of my daughter. I always say, like, I'm no sugar daddy, and I don't throw money at women and try to impress them and blow their minds. Apart from my baby girl and my mom. So yeah, I'd certainly spoil those 2 women. But yeah, those are the 3 words that describe me. That's how I live.
Well, I gotta say, bro, the security, your helpers, even people working on the gardening or on the property, super nice. Always show love, and it's because you treat them well. So that's testament to what you're saying.
Yeah, no, you have to be that way.
So Tristan, tell me how. So you guys started your webcam business in London and then moved it over to Romania, which actually was a transition for you guys to move here. What prompted that switch, and what was it like transitioning from the West to Eastern Europe?
A lot of people try to look they look at Romania in a very negative light. Even when you were at the restaurant the other day, like, oh man, there's a Lambo truck here, 2 Porsche trucks, there's a Rolls Royce driving down the street. We saw Lamborghinis everywhere. People like to paint Romania in a very negative light. And I think the people out to get me and the people out to talk shit about me always look for some correlation between, well, he was involved in, in a business which could be called adult entertainment. He moves to Eastern Europe. What's the game there? What's the trick? Was he trying to get Romanian girls to work for him? The ironic thing is, I never had a Romanian girl work for me until maybe my last 1 or 2 years. All of my models were British anyway. They were British or Western European. The transition had nothing to do with work. I just made some very good friends through kickboxing, through commentating on the RXF fight show, which is a big MMA fight show here in Romania. I'm now a part owner of it. I made some very good friends. I loved coming out here all the time. I come out here and commentate on all the shows. Herb Dean, the UFC referee, be the ref. Me and him would drink together, have some fun in Romania. And I just looked forward to my visits to Romania so much to do this bullshit commentary job, which is paying me nothing. They just paid my flights and hotels. I thought, what the fuck am I doing in England? Romanian internet speeds are 10 times higher. Property's cheaper. Maybe I should just, explore, trying to be happy somewhere else, because I wasn't happy in England doing what I was doing. So the move had nothing to do with work. It had nothing to do with the business I was in. And a lot of the models who worked for me at the time were British, and they said, no, I'm not moving to Romania. I don't want to move to Romania. And a lot of them said, you know what? yeah, we trust you. Okay, cool. Let's move to Romania and live a better life.
You actually lost some coming here.
Yeah, no, yeah, we did. We lost some models coming here. And Romania is a place that people don't know very much about. So it made recruitment harder in terms of, we have a webcam studio that's here in Bucharest, Romania. It made it scarier than saying it was in London. So, it was probably a financial hit and a burden to the business, if anything. But the answer is I just wanted to move. And as soon as I did, I knew I did the right thing. And I live very, very well here, and I'm very happy here.
Well, to be fair, bro, anything's better than London. but
you guys just got back from your first time in London. How did you find London? I'd like to know as a proud British man myself.
Here's a video on Patreon if you want to see what happened to us. But okay, I'll say this. So London itself, like downtown London, where like the Central Park is, wasn't that bad. But other parts, man, bro, we were like kind of like nervous because, bro, fresh and fit, we don't know what's going on. But the food was good, pretty reasonable. People look depressed though. The weather's kind of weird. It's like people are depressed all the way through.
Yeah.
They're like NPCs, bro.
Yeah.
Walking on the street, go to work, smug face, no hi, no bye. It's just very like they're like robots, honestly.
Yeah, the thing is with London is there's nothing about London that you can't do better somewhere else. Besides, I will give it to London, shopping. London is very, very good for shopping, and that's where I get all my suits made. So they're very good for tailoring. But besides that, there's nothing you could do in London that you could do somewhere else. In a sunnier, warmer, nicer environment with more beautiful women around. How did you find the British girls?
Bro, we walked for hours. Big Ben. Oh, where else did we go? The park.
Yeah.
And bro, I must say this. Shout out to the man them. There's no pink things in London, bro. Maybe I didn't see them. Maybe I went to the wrong places. Maybe they're in school, whatever. Bro, I didn't see shit. I saw old ladies and people that looked like busted Pillsbury.
I will say, as a man with more London experience than you, that the London girls do exist, and there are some very beautiful British women, and there are some very beautiful women in London, but they're all behind weird members-only clubs and bars that you're not going to get into, and they don't like going out in public. And with the problems that have gone on in London and the crime skyrocketing and the type of violent people, I don't want to get too political, that are all around London at the moment. I know hot girls who live in London where if they're going to the corner store and they're going to the shop or they're going to the gas station, they don't want to put on a dress and high heels and get dolled up like they do in Romania. They don't want to walk the streets looking like that. So they'll put on a hooded top, no makeup. They don't want to be bothered because the type of people who are going to approach them are now dangerous. It's become a dangerous city. So you won't see baddies because she's walking past you looking chubby because she's wearing a fucking hooded top and some sweatpants and some sneakers. She isn't looking her best because she doesn't want to be walking the streets looking like that. So London, it's fallen, and with the death of the Queen, the last great thing about British civilization is now over. So I'm Romanian now.
So first, can you hit some of those chats?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. And while he pulls that up, Tristan, I was going to ask. So when you moved from London to Romania, how many girls did you have, and then how many did you lose, if you remember?
Not many. No, I didn't have many at the time. My business really grew and took off after that. It was quite the early days. I had maybe 22 models and 15 moved, maybe. It was about 15 because I remember I owned 3 apartments here at the time. They had 2 or 3 bedrooms each, and it was enough to work 24 hours a day. So I had 15 girls I bought up.
15 girls. And what year was this approximately?
Oh, Jesus. 2000. So I must have been about 26 and a half at the time. So yeah, you could do the math. I'm 34 now. So
yeah. So quite a while. And then you made your first million when you were how old?
28. Damn. 28. In fact, what's funny is this: when you concentrate on your goals, this is a completely true story. I never tried to calculate my net worth if I was a millionaire or not, because that wasn't very interesting to me. I wanted to have $1 million in the bank, in cash or crypto, $1 million. And the time me and Andrew said, you know what? Let's count all of our money and let's see if we have $1 million each, because we have to divide it by 2. To be fair. Let's see if we're millionaires yet. We decided to pool all our money and actually count it, but we've been working so hard and concentrating on the money so much that when we counted the money, we had like 2.3 million. So we each had $1,150,000. So I missed it by a month. I probably became a millionaire a month before that, and I'd simply not looked because I was too busy focusing on the goal, and my money wasn't in just one account. Look at the bank balance. So,
wow.
Is that mouse working?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. I'm going to try to get it charged. Guys, I know you're wondering why we're not highlighting chats right now. It's because the mouse is dead, but I'm going to have one of our guys in the back handle that. And again, guys, I apologize. My voice is gone.
Yeah, we partied too hard, man.
Bro, if you come hang out with me, your voice would go too. So don't hate on him.
I don't smoke, guys. So like when we're in the club and everything, everyone smokes here in Europe. So I inhaled it, and I didn't smoke one cigarette, one cigar. Yesterday, and I lost my voice, man.
Everybody smokes. When in Rome, do what the Romans do.
So sorry about that, guys.
Eric Wellstar, welcome to as a supporter. And by the way, shout out to everyone buying the HU course right now. I see people filing in. Shout out to y'all.
Yep.
Yeah, mad
Welcome
for that. Jameson Broadband, shout out to you, $20. And then we have here as well, Foreign Jew says, hey man, shout out to his legendary stream, FNF we up. Shout out to you, brother. And MLD, Modern Life Dating says, feel better, Myron. Shout out to Fresh and Tristan. Shout out to you, bro.
Thank you.
That's it for now.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So, so now you're in Romania. You've, built up a little bit of an empire. Now, tell me the trend. What made you guys start YouTube? At this point, you guys made your money. So it's like, you guys didn't. And I want to make that very clear because people don't know this. You guys never had to come on YouTube ever.
Yeah. No, we didn't. You know what it was? It was just I knew the world was missing out on what me and Andrew said and did, and it sounds so arrogant at the time, but if you look at how important the message that me and Andrew put out is and how many young men flock to us and the size of our fan bases and how much we've blown up, I was completely correct. It was a call that myself and my brother made. I was invited to Stade in Switzerland to test drive some new Ferrari because I was on the Ferrari, owners list, and they invited me to come test this car. I didn't like the car very much. It was one of those hybrids. And it was their first prototype hybrid. And I was driving this car around the track, and we get back to this hotel with some beautiful women, and the hotel's fucking amazing. It's in the mountains. And I take a crappy picture on my phone. I think, do I post this on Instagram? I've never been much of a social media guy. And me and Andrew were sitting having drinks saying, you know what? Why is none of this documented? Why does nobody know that this is possible? Because 5 years ago, I didn't know that kind of thing was possible in life. So I was like, you know what? The world needs to see more of this. So let's find a camera guy to follow us around. And the original guy's name was Mike. And we've had a few cameramen over the years. Now it's Luke, who literally just films our footage on a mobile phone. And
shout out to Luke.
Yeah, shout out to Luke. And it will be me and Andrew. There was a time that we actually spent $1 million in a day. And the episode is so crap, and it's held on a shaky little phone. I don't think anyone shows that level of flexing and spending on YouTube with such low production quality, which is the magic of Take Confidential. So find us on Rumble because YouTube don't like us anymore. So.
Can you tell the people why though? There's actually a very legit reason why you had to do that in Romania.
Yeah, well, so a colleague of theirs, I'm not going to say his name, walks into the cigar lounge the other day, and we're sitting smoking cigars. He's got this little camera jib thing on his cell phone.
Gimbal.
He's waving around like this, and I'm like, bro. Fucking quit it. Because Romania is not like the West, and Eastern Europe is not like the West. Russia is very much like Romania in this way. If you go to a cigar lounge, there will be men there having conversations that they don't want anyone recording. They could speak out in the open. They could sit there and have their conversations about whatever it is they're talking about. I do this too. Me and our brother will sit having conversations that, and we'll just speak freely because people in Romania don't spy on each other. They look the other way. They don't snitch on each other. But if you walk somewhere with a clear, visible camera and start recording, they're going to tell you to put it down. I mean, there are politicians, businessmen, multimillionaire Romanians who are taking their girlfriends on dates, not their wives, right. And they're hanging out at all the cool spots and all the best places. So no, they just simply won't let you walk around using a camera, and I don't blame them because I don't like that either. I don't like people waving a camera in my face. So yeah, I had to tell your guy off a little bit, but yeah. So on a cell phone, you can always get away with recording whatever you like, and that's the reason Take Confidential has such low production quality. But there was a time that the day we bought the Rolls Royce, between the Rolls Royce, me paying my invoice at my tailor, Andrew going shopping in Harrods in London, and we also sent about $200,000 for the renovation of the house out of our bank. $1 million was spent from our account in a single day. Sheesh. And the episode is so average. I'm just like, no one flexes like this with such bad production quality. But that is exactly your point. I don't need the internet. I didn't need to make the best edited, crazy show. I just needed to, show people. I was living well. So
inspiration, man. It's funny because I told my family that's coming to Romania, right? They're like, who goes to Romania? But after coming here, man, being at the Tate Mansion, the lifestyle, I can see why you're here because you know what? You build a network with people that you trust.
Yeah.
And that's very important. Even in Miami, we have that network where like, people that own clubs, people that actually are part of our ecosystem, and like having that network is powerful no matter where you are.
And the owner of the club came and introduced himself to you guys yesterday.
Yeah. When he comes to Miami, we're going to take care of him.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tristan, so now we know a little bit more about your come up, right?
Yeah.
How you became the man that you are today, from fighting, scavenging for KFC pieces of meat to get your protein in, and then becoming a multimillionaire through webcam, and then, documenting that life through YouTube. So tell us a little bit about the dating marketplace. You're very good with the ladies. Can you tell us, I guess, in a snapshot, how dating has changed just in your, short existence of 3+ decades?
Yeah, no, in my lifetime, it's changed absolutely massively. It's a lot more men have become have been priced out of the sexual marketplace. It like 100% priced out of the sexual marketplace, and that is the actual correct term to use. And I touched on this earlier, but I'm going to expand on this. As I was saying, if a girl from a small village in Ukraine somewhere 20 years ago would marry the other guy from the small village in Ukraine and end up having a family and starting a family with that guy, she's now getting hit up by Saudi sheikhs, people like me, people like you, getting flown out to Miami, and certainly invited out to Miami. So women have higher standards. I would actually say unrealistic standards when it comes to the normal man, because you'll be a normal guy out there working a normal job, and you could maybe provide for a woman and provide for a household, and you're a good looking guy and you stay in shape. But women have developed unrealistic expectations because they believe that all these high value men are all into them. What they don't understand is the high value men are messaging every single girl with a blue tick and a nice ass. so they think, I don't need to date this guy because this blue checkmark millionaire is in my inbox. But that blue checkmark millionaire isn't going to marry you and isn't going to provide for you and actually care for you 99% of the time. So women's expectations have gone out of control. Men have been priced out of the sexual marketplace, but also men have become much more timid. Yes. They've become timid because real life interaction has become the secondary way of communication. I communicate with almost everyone I know besides my brother much more virtually and digitally than I ever do in real life. So what's happened is this. I touched on this, and I actually came to the conclusion back when I used to run my streaming studio. And people would say, like, who's the core base of your customers? Is it like old men with money, creepy old men? Who'd you guess? Overweight men? No, it's young men all the time. It's 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old men, because men of our generation, and we're just half a generation older than these people. We used to, like a girl, you got to the bar, fucking risk rejection, walk over there, introduce yourself. You had to do the in real life interaction. And so many men are completely terrified by that nowadays because they've never ever done it. If they used to like a girl in school, they wouldn't tell her they liked her. If they would, the first girlfriends who they met when they were 17, 18, 19, it was Tinder, swiping. They never had to do that in real life interaction. So they're not just priced out. The skill set isn't there for young men to date beautiful women anymore. Nobody thinks, I need to find some a beautiful girl. Let me, get dressed up in a nice suit, go to the coolest spot in town, drive my car, look for one, find one. They think, maybe they're on Bumble and Tinder, and the best girls aren't on those apps. Let me tell you. Yep. So yeah, it's a massive lack of talent in men as well. So I think a smaller percentage of men are getting a greater percentage of women than ever before. And, it's nice to be at the top of that. It is nice to be at the top. I think everything that happened in my life happened at exactly the right time. I've aged perfectly with how technology has changed and how the dating market has changed, because, it was great for me when I was 18. I could meet a beautiful 18-year-old when Instagram didn't exist, because I used to go kickboxing a bit and I had a vehicle to drive around in, but that would not cut it for an 18-year-old nowadays. So yeah, men need to up their game if they want to have a seat at the top, but the seat at the top is far more pleasant than it ever was.
So competition is high.
No, absolutely. And when we talked about this at lunch yesterday, Tristan, with as far as like men and women and prostitution and everything else like that, and the webcamming. And we talked about how like a large portion of the webcam girls, their clientele came from like the lower tiers of men. And what's happening is that the quality of the women has been going down simultaneously, as long as with the guys as well not being able to have access to women. Very interesting point. Can you expand on that?
Well, that's another thing. I think for all of human history, there's always been a fallback for men. There's always been a fallback, and that fallback was always prostitution. Nowadays it's pornography, webcam interaction, OnlyFans. But what's happening nowadays is so many high-value men exist there in the world with access to the most beautiful women in the world. No, it's very, very unlikely a real 10 out of 10 beauty queen at 18, 19 years of age growing up in, let's say in Paris, thinks, you know what, I'm going to go and shoot porn and get fucked for money. That was the thing that they would actually think 20 years ago. Maybe I can get to America, shoot porn, make it big, sell enough VHS tapes, whatever it is. But the quality of webcam models, and I know this from being in the industry, has gone so far downhill in the last few years, and they've become so much uglier because beautiful women don't need to do that anymore. If you're a beautiful woman, you don't want to sit on a camera 8 hours a day. What you need to do is post a few Instagram pictures. As your Instagram pictures go up, you now get invited to the yachts, the parties, the jets, and you get to live the lifestyle that you previously would have had to work for. So the fallback, the safety net for the men who don't want to do the work and, and still want to sleep with beautiful women, the holes in the net are getting wider and wider and wider because fewer women are turning to prostitution. Fewer women who are actually beautiful are turning to porn, becoming webcam models. So the interaction with these women, even paid, It just doesn't exist anymore. The 10 out of 10 girls who want to be escorts from Russia or whatever, and they do exist, they're in Saudi Arabia getting paid 10 grand a night from a sheikh. They're not going to be standing on the side of the road in Atlanta hoping some John picks them up for $50. That does not exist anymore. If you were to drive down those streets in places like Atlanta, I'd imagine the girls will look horrendous. Not that I'd ever do that. So yeah. So it's not just that it's getting harder to be the man. It's getting harder to be not the man because you don't even have the safety net of being able to pay $100 to sleep with a beautiful woman. So yeah, it really, really sucks to be most people in the world right now. But it is better to be a high-value man. And mine and my brother's message of saying, improve yourself, get smarter, get fitter, get stronger, dress better, fucking drive a nicer car, earn more money. When I'm saying that to young men, it's because I feel that is now necessary in this world to live a really great life. You can live a life worth living without some of those things, but to live a really great life, you really do need it.
That's a good point you brought up because, matter of fact, they don't have to do anything that they don't want to do. They just post a picture, post a video online.
Absolutely. And
people hit them up. And it's funny because it could be an average girl, bro. An average girl, not even a baddie.
Yeah.
Get flown out, get taken care of. And we know people in Miami, of course, that they come on social media, they're not even that bad or average. Guys actually take care of them and become their sugar daddies. So it's like the world has changed, guys. And if you're not up to that level, you're going to lose. It's what it is.
Yeah, some of the girls I've seen on your show, look, your show has a lot of beautiful women on it. And a lot of cool women on it. So I'm not going to insult the standard of women on the show, but you've been catfished a few times, and a couple of times, when you got these grotesque looking women sitting there being like, oh, I need a sugar daddy who pays me $10,000 a month. There's now a premium on fat, ugly pussy. Like seriously, because again, it's the access. They have access to everybody in the world. That girl would be standing on a street corner in her hometown making $25 an hour. For back in the 1980s, and it's all changed. The thirst dynamic is so much because the hot girls don't exist anymore, and all the simps and all the guys who pay are just hungrier and hungrier than ever before. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that these chubby basic girls who want to argue with you can get $10,000 a month from a sugar daddy, because that guy, although he's paying a girl $10,000 a month, you think that's rich? No, he ain't getting a 10 because the 10s are getting $100,000 a month. So there's a premium on fat, ugly pussy nowadays. So if the only way out of this is to become a high-value man and to become the kind of man that women naturally want to be around and want to sleep with, and you don't have to be a simp in the first place. That's the only way out of this mess.
Well said. All right, we got some more chats here, and then we'll get into the future of what's happening in the current marketplace. We have here Frankie Baltimore says, "Hey y'all, that was super inspirational. I feel like a proud Nigerian now. Tristan, can you please tell them a little bit about a Dagnot?"
About Aliko Dengtoe.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
No, so not a lot of people know who this is. I actually, just because I've got quite a broad general knowledge. I was just trying to think of any billionaire who made money from something boring. So his name came to my head. So he's Nigerian. Said, "Oh, I'll talk about him more." Yeah, I think he's the richest man in Nigeria, one of Africa's richest men. He was the concrete guy who I mentioned earlier. I said, "Do you think Aliko Dengtoe cares about concrete?" That was my point. My friend, I don't want to talk about Aliko Dengtoe because no one cares. There was just an example of a billionaire who does Elon Musk does care about sending rockets to space. He does actually care. So I couldn't use him as an example. So that's why I mentioned him. But yeah, I do know who he is. And
concrete.
Yeah, I do know who he is. But yeah, we're not talking about Aliko Dengtoe on the stream. No one cares. Google him.
He went over people's heads. This just tells me how well traveled you are. Okay. We have here DL Saint, Everyone Want to Know podcast, Don Marco, if you don't mind. He says, "Great combo, fam. Tristan, I've met Andrew, and I look forward to meeting you, brother. Myron, drink some tea. First, I'm coming to Miami for your birthday. Just making sure I'm invited. Yes, you are, my friend. Stay safe, gentlemen. Keep leading from the front. Shout out to you, bro." We have here as well, Greg P says $50. "Hey, what's up, guys? Looking good? Question. If you can talk to your younger self, what advice would you give? And is there anything you believe you could have done differently?" That's a good one. Tristan, if you could talk to yourself when you're younger.
I tend not to think about questions like that. I tend not to entertain, but I will. What I call hypothetical universe questions. People give, if you didn't have your brother, where would you be today? Yeah, but I do have my brother. Or when I'm with a really bad bitch, and she's like, well, she only likes tall guys. She's only dating you because you're tall. I'm like, yeah, but I am tall. I don't entertain alternate universe questions. And the alternate reality where I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, besides basic shit like buy all the Bitcoin, which, you know what? Here's the thing, though. My second answer was going to be I would tell myself nothing. But my first answer is also I would tell myself nothing. I wouldn't even tell myself buy all the Bitcoin. I'm so happy with where I am now and the fact that I've made my money the hard way. I'm so happy I didn't become a massive billionaire from owning a bunch of coins when I was 25 and quit kickboxing, 3 years before I did. I think everything in my life, you have to take the good with the bad if you're happy where you are. If you drive to a beautiful destination, you have to accept the fact that you had to go over the potholes. You have to accept the fact that it was raining for an hour. You have to accept the fact that you may have broken down. But when you're at that beautiful destination, you're very happy that you made the drive. My life is so beautiful, and looking from the perspective of where I am, going back in time and changing even the slightest thing could alter where I am today. So I would tell myself absolutely nothing.
Tristan, can you talk a little bit about